Thank you for joining us today on another installment of Frost & Sullivan's exciting podcast series highlighting key disruptive technologies, economic trends, new business models, industry conversions, emerging geographies, and much more. I'm Sid Shah, an industry analyst with the Transformational Health Research team, and we'll be talking about our analysis on artificial intelligence in medical imaging, and specifically today around the economic trends on the value of AI in radiology. So AI is important for radiology today, and it's evident because there are more than 100 startups active in this space until 2018. And every major medical imaging company is also betting on AI. Radiologists as well have now moved beyond that question, of whether AI will replace them. They know that it's not true. Instead, the question they have now is how can it help me and how will it make my work easier? As I discuss the economic ROI for this industry as a whole, I hope you will be able to view this entire space with a new lens. Now, before I begin, there's a quick background. We have forecasted the global market for AI in radiology as close to about $1.5 billion by 2022. Now, another firm's estimate pegs the global value at about $2 billion or so. Now, this value in billions of dollars in just 3 to 4 years from now, that might raise eyebrows for you and raise new questions. But let me propose a different way of looking at it. Let's take a step back and let's look at the entire medical imaging space. The entire market of medical imaging services, including professional services, diagnostic and imaging equipment, imaging informatics, and everything else, it together accounts for more than $250 billion in 2022. Now, as I build the story, hold that thought in your mind. That figure of $250 plus billion in 2022. The second part of the story is this. If we look at the total revenue for AI in radiology, and let's add up all of those revenues, annual revenues up to 2022, the total comes to approximately $3 billion. Now, there are a couple of key takeaways here. First, think of that $3 billion value in view of the larger $250 plus billion value. That's barely over 1% of the total industry size. So that value shouldn't really raise concerns on a major disruption as such. Sure, there's disruption, but in a very good way of how a radiologist can actually utilize AI and make their work simpler and easier. Now for the second takeaway. If the $3 billion cumulative is what the AI vendors will earn, then that is the same amount of money that radiology organizations will spend. Now I hope that's clear. I'm looking at the flip side. Revenue for the vendor is the spend for the provider. So let's deem that $3 billion value as an investment that the providers will make. So what will be their ROI though from investing $3 billion in AI technologies? So to understand that, we've built some assumptions here. AI holds the promise of two kinds of savings for providers. One is around productivity and efficiency, and the other is around diagnostic accuracy. Now, I'm obviously oversimplifying this for the sake of explanation, but based on this, we estimate that the providers would cumulatively save north of about $15 billion until 2022. Now that's more than a 5x ROI for the providers. Of course, we have challenges today on actually measuring those savings, primarily because we don't use any kind of metrics to measure efficiencies to compare them post AI implementation. So how do you really measure those savings? And this would be important because you have to convince the radiology organizations to invest the $3 billion in the first place. A major problem statement with holding the growth of the industry today is adoption. And this especially because there are questions around reimbursement by insurance companies. So without that major factor, what kind of business models will work for vendors? And what would be the ROI justifications for hospitals? These are all unknown as yet. So this discussion is definitely not something that can be sorted out in one podcast. There's much more to all of this. But at the end of the day, AI is being developed, it is being adopted, and there is more to it than just image analysis. Ultimately, there are obviously growth opportunities for the industry. The most logical one that emerges is around automating and accelerating manual image analysis tasks. Another one from the 10 odd that we have is that of AI development services. So when it's AI, you need data to train it, but that data must be extracted, curated, anonymized, also annotated, and then you would build the AI algorithm on top of it and then validate it. And the vendors who offer these services can benefit from this growing trend. On that note, I hope you have enjoyed this session. Please join us for future podcasts by emailing us at digital@frost.com. Thank you for your time and have a nice day.